Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another Spatial Innovision webinar. We have a highly informative one for you. Today's topic is mapping the world with newly released senseFly 2021 technology, eBee Geo, eBee Ag, and the senseFly Academy. And so, be prepared to hear more about these new initiatives. I am Matthew Webster, Vice President of the Corporate Services Division at Spatial Innovision. And with me today is Mr. Rashawn Clark, Deputy CEO at Spatial Innovision, and Mr. Everett Johnson, Geomatic Specialist at Spatial Innovision. Mr. Jose Marchetti, senseFly's Regional Manager for LATAM and the Caribbean, is unable to join us live today, but has sent a video and shared his remarks, which I'll play now. And after that, Rashawn will pick up the mantle and introduce Everett. So, video of Mr. Marchetti is being shared now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jose Marchetti. I am the Regional Manager for Latin America and the Caribbean for senseFly. Spatial Innovision today, our partner in Jamaica and the Caribbean region, is going to present you 3 new products that senseFly launched a few weeks ago in 2021. We have 2 new platforms, one for the geospatial applications, one for the agricultural applications, and one very nice product that many customers all around the world were asking for. It is a Certified Operator senseFly Academy. This is the first part of a big effort that senseFly is doing all around the world to give our operators and customers like big corporations or governments all the tools they need to comply with the requirements of new legislations being put in place all over the world in different countries. So these 3 new products that Everett is going to present to you are giving us a big push and excitement at senseFly for 2021. I hope you like the webinar. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to be with you today because of personal reasons. I'm going to get vaccinated, so soon I hope to start traveling around the world and get all this pandemic situation behind us. Of course, many of us suffered a lot with this COVID pandemic, and I want to send my best regards and greetings to everyone attending this webinar. And thank you very much, Spatial Innovision, for your partnership with us. It's very important to have professional partners like you in different parts of the world. You covered the Caribbean and Jamaica exceptionally good, and we are proud of having you as a partner. I want to say bye to everyone. Let's keep in touch. My best wishes for this webinar, Everett. I'm sure you're going to do a great job as always. So I want to say thank you for being here, for being a customer, and or for being interested in our products. I'm sure you'll appreciate whatever is going to present. Have a very nice webinar and talk to you soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All right. So yeah, bye, Mr. Marchetti. So at this point, I'll hand over to Roshan to share a bit about the senseFly spatial relationship, and following that, Everett will go ahead. Over to you,
All right.
Roshan.
Morning. Thank you, Matthew. Morning, good afternoon, or good night to our audience and to everyone that's on. I say good morning or good night depending on where you're joining from. My name is Rashawn Clark, and I'm the Deputy CEO of Spatial Innovision. Also, I want to send a warm greeting to Jose. Thanks for doing that video. And we are very proud to be partners with senseFly as well. Before I go any further, I just want to take a minute or two and provide some context for this webinar. All right. The Spatial Webinar Series, for those who are joining for the first time, is designed to keep you up to date with the latest and the greatest developments in the geospatial industry. So like from groundbreaking advancements in GIS to the new heights of drone technology. The Spatial Webinar Series is here to share information and create more awareness within our region. In due time, we hope that this series will, evolve into a community of professionals and practitioners and end users who can leverage cutting edge technology and help us to advance it as it relates to our region and, of course, as it relates to your work. So it is in this context that today we're happy to have this webinar with our partners, the fixed wing leaders, senseFly. They have recently launched, as you would have heard, the senseFly Academy, offering certified training, as well as 2 new lines of drones, the eBee Geo and the eBee Ag. Both are designed to fit the needs of specific industries and specific workflows. The eBee Geo serves mapping, so it serves the mapping needs and is ideal for land and mapping agencies or NGOs, while the eBee Ag, as you would assume, serves the agriculture sector. Now, my colleague Everard Johnson is the real drone expert within the company, and he is also a certified trainer now. So as he speaks about the training program, do know that we have that capacity within Spatial. So he's going to speak more on the specifics of the powerful products, and my job is really just to create that context. So I wanted to create the context for you all. The long and short of it is that these drones are tailor-made for your industry. And if you need more information, you can always reach out to Everard. I'm sure the email address will be here throughout this webinar. If you're watching this on a YouTube video, it will be in the chat. It will be in the bio. And just in case you're here listening now, it's drones@spatialvision.com. All right, so without further ado, I will pass over to my colleague, Everard. Good morning, Everard. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Roshan. Hi, my name is Everard Johnson, and I'm the geomatics specialist here at Spatial Innovision Limited. Welcome to today's webinar all. Today we will be going through the steps of mapping the world with the new and improved senseFly eBee Geo and eBee Ag, and also how to become a senseFly drone certified operator. This will enable everyone to successfully use your senseFly system to its full potential. In knowing this senseFly system, you will be able to set up the software, the hardware, and perform all the safety actions, and most important, collect high quality data to produce high quality outputs for your clients or your personal needs. senseFly has just launched their new and exciting e-learning platform. It's very exciting because it's a great way to become an expert in senseFly drones in a quick and efficient way. After the webinar, if you are interested to learn more, you can email us at products@spatialvision.com, where we can go into more details. I will, however, explain more about the content course. The course modules start with an introduction to senseFly, its products, and a typical operation workflow overview, and continue with an in-depth explanation of the hardware and software. Since we would like to encourage you to give this a try, the first 4 courses are free. Then we'll take you through a bit of theory about the aerial mapping principle, which will demonstrate the eBee flight, navigation, data quality and processing, accuracy, and the rules and regulation. The mapping project modules looks into detail at every step of a typical mapping workflow with the senseFly system, from best practice planning, preparation to data capture and processing, aiming to equip you with a solid foundation and therefore high higher operation confidence. And of course, a whole module about handling tricky situations like unexpected events or missions in complex terrain, and how to keep your senseFly drone in top shape. Camera-specific workflow gives an insight about the application and procedure for each type of payload available with the EBX family. By completing all courses, that's around 10 hours of work at your own pace. You will then have a live Q&A session with a certified trainer and a final exam of around 40 questions. Once successfully, you will now become a senseFly certified operator. Becoming a senseFly certified operator will not only bring you to the next level of UAV operation, but can also bring benefits when acquiring insurance, applying for tenders, getting approval by your local aviation authority, and potentially getting points for continued professional development. As you see, the cost to actually get the course and get qualified is approximately $1,050 USD per person. And this will give you unlimited access to the platform, live session with a senseFly trainer, access to industry experts, be an OEM, which is original equipment manufacturer certified senseFly operator. I will now talk about the drone offers by senseFly. The flagship of senseFly drone is the EBX. This is a fixed wing drone for all your mapping needs. It's designed to boost the quality, efficiency, and safety of your data collection. You can choose a sensor, which is a camera, to suit every job. The EBX will give you the accuracy required and coverage to meet every project's requirement. The main difference with the EBX from the eBee Geo is that the cameras are interchangeable. Once an endurance battery is added, it will cover larger area as the time will be extended to a maximum flight time of approximately 90 minutes using the SODA 3D camera. It's also equipped with post-processing capability so that you can always collect data. Then when you go back to the office, you can process that data to real-time accuracy. Also using multiple drones at the same time. Some of the problems that senseFly drones can overcome is such as seen in the illustration map. Flash floods are not common in the desert, though when they do happen, they can cause extreme damage, and usually locals are not adequately prepared to deal with repercussions. This is what happened in Al Ain municipality in the UAE. When flash floods struck, which caused significant damage to buildings, infrastructure, local vegetation, and wildlife, as a result, they quickly needed to assess the affected areas and make informed decisions. Problems were that manned aircraft have a significant cost involved and would take time to deploy. Relief both for the safety of the people and the protection of the environment was paramount. And so time also played a huge factor. senseFly drones solved this issue in that being able to fly multiple eBee fixed wings at the same time meant that they could deploy extremely quickly and for a fraction of the cost of manned aircraft. The deployment time as well as the mission time meant actionable data was acquired in time needed. 50-kilometer corridor or 65 kilometer square was mapped mapped in 2 days. Efficiency is much better than multi-rotor and price better than manned aircraft. The endurance extension of the EBX also allowed for longer flight times and time on ground, and less time on ground. The flexibility of both RTK and PPK is key in time-sensitive missions. Using traditional surveying methods was out of the question. This would have taken months, would be extremely dangerous due to the floods, and ultimately defeats the objects of this mission. A survey by satellite would be inaccurate, and manned aircraft too expensive. If we compare this to the same number of Phantom RTKs, you are looking at least 30% more flights and 1 to 2 days more on the field due to increased movements and launch of landing sequence. I will now talk about the new eBee Geo. First, the ease of use, it's lightweight, flight and data management included, and it's highly compatible with image processing software. In the industries which it can be used, such as land management, surveying, urban planning, industrial mapping, humanitarian, cadastral for urban planning, which gives you government land titles, and construction, and for smaller scale mining. Or it can be used by a university for research. The primary operators are drone service providers, surveying companies, and quad users looking for larger mapping capability. And your return on investment will be lower hardware investment due to closed geo system and higher efficiency than quad. Some of the features of the eBee Geo is that it comes with a soda sensor, the first camera built specifically for professional drone photogrammetry. It will cover 45 minutes flight time, and you can cover an area of about 160 hectares, which is approximately 550 acres. It have RTK capability, and it gives you an absolute accuracy of down to 3 centimeters, which is 1.2 inches. The eBee Geo can be used by local municipality for new housing and road development, also for unregistered housing for taxation purposes, and finally, for urban informal settlement. You may be saying that satellite imagery can be used. However, the satellite imagery may not give the high resolution which is needed, and ground-based solution will be too slow and too expensive. The eBee Geo will give you the high resolution which is required, and you don't need to worry about cloud cover, as in the case of satellite imagery. It will be much cheaper than satellite solution. With eBee Geo, you will be getting data security, in that you'll get 5 centimeter resolution in more than enough, which is more than enough to accurately evaluate property boundaries due to the clarity and sharpness of the drone imagery. With satellite data, you will need very large ground control points or meter level accuracy. However, the eBee Geo with RTK will be able to achieve sub 10 centimeter accuracy, far greater than what you would most needed in certain applications, for certain applications. The imagery collected can then be processed to give output results such as point clouds, orthomosaic, and DSM, and also DTM. The orthomosaic can be used to measure floor size and plot boundaries, which can be used to calculate population density in an area. It can be used for future housing and road development. Data acquisition can be collected in less time than using conventional method or other types of drones, such as quadcopters, which will cover less area in more time. Cadastral mapping for tax auditing was performed by senseFly customer Jacobs, previously JL Pattison and Associates, Inc. in USA. They complete engineers pre-survey for Burbank, Los Angeles, and Anaheim section of the route in just a few weeks. They use an eBee RTK mapping drone to quickly and accurately map the target corridor, which shows the number of undeclared construction. The data was collected 4 times faster than traditional surveying at half the cost of aerial surveying with manned aircraft. Another senseFly customer was AOC Ingenieria, which is based in Ecuador, used the eBee platform to conduct a feasibility study in mountainous terrain in a high altitude region. The eBee was used to perform a large topographic survey of a difficult to access site, the potential location of a new wastewater treatment plant. The senseFly drone technology was employed to cover this large area efficiently, launch and landing from an off-site location. Due to the time-saving achievement, AOC charged its government contractor client 1/5 of the cost of conventional surveying. The comparison between the eBee-X and the eBee-Geo having similar characteristics, such as the wingspan, the radio link. It uses the same flight planning and control software, which is eMotion 3. The difference between drones are that the eBee-X may carry a heavier payload due to the type of sensor, which is the camera. The eBee-X can use interchangeable sensor, while the eBee-Geo comes with a standard camera, which is a soda sensor. The eBee-X has the upgraded option of using RTK or PPK, while the eBee-Geo only has RTK. The eBee-X can use an endurance battery to fly for 90 minutes, while the eBee-Geo uses a standard battery, which will give a flight time of 45 minutes. One of the best parts of senseFly system is the world-class flight planning software, eMotion. Some of the key features are 2D and 3D flight planning. It's simple to use, yet very powerful. Designed to be intuitive, having been fine-tuned over more than 10 years of development. senseFly continues to support and is regularly updating according to the needs of the global user base. The software allows for complete simulation. If you have an area of interest nearby, it can run a simulation with you showing the planning process and how it is used before you actually go in the field. With the eMotion software, you plan the flight, perform the simulation so as to know exactly how it will function in the field. You will then go out and fly. Then after collecting the data required, you then export info and get the result required. The results can then be imported or exported into other third-party software. I will now discuss the new eBee Ag drone for agriculture. The eBee Ag applications are shown on the slide, but not limited, can be used to collect info on wheat, corn, and sugarcane, to name a few. It's designed for farmers and government agencies to conduct research for future best farming practices to yield the best crops and return on investment. Post-harvest, nitrogen application on the corn crop. In case of green manure, estimate the biomass and thus the nitrogen context the crop would make available to the next crop. Important to know that the data collected would not occur in post-harvest, but in pre-harvest. The decision is to put in place in post-harvest. The eBee Ag will give a fly time of up to 55 minutes. You can achieve absolute accuracy down to 2.5 centimeter with the RGB sensor. It will give you the best and most effective multispectral outputs. It's lightweight, rugged, and durable, and easy to use. And cheap. With the new Duet M sensor, which is an advanced dual-purpose agriculture camera, the Duet M will enable you to achieve crop planning, planting, plant health monitoring, crop scouting, pest disease, and weed tracking, yield monitoring, and forecasting, to name few applications of the sensor. With the eBee Ag, flying is easy. It is easy to maintain due to its swappable parts. If anything should happen to the drone, you can just order the parts and replace most by yourself. However, you will always have local support from us, Spatial Innovision Limited. The eBee Ag comes with all parts above shown on the left section and ready to fly out of the box. However, there are other parts which may be needed that can enhance your flying experience and the drone safety, such as the USB ping, which will notify you that a plane is near your working space. The radio tracker, in case anything should happen and you lost track or signal of the drone. You can always add those accessories when needed. The eBee Ag has many of the same features as the eBee-X, which is a flagship. senseFly brand. The eBee Ag will integrate with the leading software providers like Pix4D and Drone2Map, just to name a few. The eBee Ag has RTK upgrade available, which allows you to reach accuracy of up to 5 centimeters. These are some of the differences. And available endurance battery increased flight time up to 55 minutes, allowing eBee Ag to cover more than 160 hectares, which is approximately 395 acres in a single flight, and saving precious time and money when compared to conventional scouting. The eBee Ag can achieve absolute accuracy down to 2.5 centimeter with RGB. The eBee Ag uses the same eMotion software as all the other senseFly fixed-wing drones. The above image
Allow me to check on Everett for a second. Give me a few seconds. We're having some technical difficulties on the side.
Hello again. I thought we had some, I heard that we had some internet issue, some technology issue. So I hope that we are back now and everyone is hearing me. I think we were lost or get disconnected on this slide. So I will continue from here. The above image shows the eBee ag flying and collecting data of cornfield in Brazil. With the RGB sensor as highlighted on the RGB map, it's showing data of corn having 230 hectares captured in Brazil. Greater resolution shows bigger and more intense problems such as major sowing failures, areas of great difference in coloration, when the problems are in advanced stage, thus the plant coloration was already affected. Areas where the plant's development are clearly different, example, subdevelopment due to compaction. We know that many factors affect the crop, and one very important factor is the terrain relief, as shown by the DSM, Digital Surface Model, that will determine the water behavior and thus the transportation of nutrients through the leaching process. We can then correlate those factors and work on a better management to overcome the challenges of this and further season. Besides the good indication the RGB gives us, we can go deeper in our analysis and see behind our eyes limitation. By using the normalized difference vegetation index, NDVI, for example, we can assess our area, checking its health and development. As we can see on the slide, the NDVI shows the intensity the crops has been affected. But in this case, as the crop is in an advanced stage, the NDVI is saturating. So we must find a more suitable vegetative index to reflect this crop status. Thanks to the complete solution of senseFly equipment offers, it is also possible to generate other indexes that could be more suitable to diversify or the diversity of the crops. There are different stages of development and the purpose of your monitoring. In this case, we can better access the intensity of our problems by using the normalized difference red edge, which is the NDRE, which is an index that uses the red edge band that penetrates deeper on the leaves, so saturates less than the NDVI and can indicate early stress in the crop, giving a good timing to plan and put in place counter actions. This is just one example of many other vegetative indexes that can be generated and indicate different parameters of the plant development or status. We can generate prescription maps and a variable rate application based on the vegetative index map of your choice. We can choose a number of zones. On the example above, we choose 3 classes. So we have yellow for healthier plants, more active and productive. thus requiring, for example, a higher fertilizer dose. We have orange, which are somehow less active, so requires a smaller dose of nutrients. And the red is the areas with some bare soil, so no fertilizer application is required. The imagery above shows an eBee drone collecting sugarcane info. As mentioned before, the RGB gives a great idea of the crop performance in areas, its distribution, its health, and development. The RGB camera enables you to create orthomosaic of the entire area by combining the photos. But it is always better to have other tools to better understand the issue. Here we have a DSM model indicating the terrain relief would be possible. The problems of these crops are related to terrain. If this is the fourth harvest on the same sugarcane, it is time to renew the area. Or do I keep going the same crop, keep going with the same crop? This is to say that you will need to know how to analyze the data collected. Also, to achieve the required result, you will need a processing software, and I would recommend Pix4D Fields. Pix4D Fields is the only digital agriculture software focusing on reducing the processing time while incorporating the highest accuracy standards backed up with years of scientific research. It creates maps rapidly with no internet connection required for faster decision-making and action without leaving the field. It always gets maps of your fields and crops at any critical stage, regardless of satellite availability and cloud cover. It eliminates guesswork by analyzing crop health maps and measure issues using calibrated multispectral or full resolution RGB images. It connects your data to platforms like the John Deere Operations Center, which is an online farm management system that enables access to farm information anywhere, anytime. Synchronize and access your data in Office and in field for streamlined collaboration. One of the new products that senseFly is offering is a new backpack. Due to the fact that you will be using the drones in difficult to access or remote areas, as such, senseFly has developed a new backpack case for the eBee and the eBee Geo. With its compact and rugged design, you can now easily take the eBee anywhere you can access on foot. The weight of the package has been reduced by around 75%, whilst still containing everything you need for your flight. As an example, some real-life situation where senseFly clients have requested something more lightweight and practical, such as mapping of hilly terrain in remote areas where a vehicle cannot go, countryside during wet and muddy conditions, and in a rocky environment where you will be doing such as mining procedures. We will now take questions. However, you can also send additional questions or queries to products@spatialvision.com, and we'll be happy to help you in any way possible to suit your needs. I wait your questions.
All right, thank you, Evrod. Thanks for bringing through that presentation. I do apologize about the technical difficulty experience, but hopefully we're able to resolve it in a timely manner for the audience that is here. So not seeing any questions here currently. Again, reminding you guys that you can share questions here. And for the audience that's also on Facebook, you can also share your questions there as well. So I'm gonna have it run for about 2 minutes, and if we do have a question past then, um, we do thank you for turning out. So let me have that run. All right. So question being thrown here from Laverne Ryan. What is the price that they're looking at for the drones presented? And also, does the senseFly eBee only come in black? So that's for you, Everett.
Okay, thanks for that question. Okay, so the senseFly, to answer the second question, the second part of the question, the senseFly eBee Geo comes in black and blue, while the eBee Ag comes in black and red stripe. And the EBX comes in black and gold stripe or yellow, right? For the other question, which is the price, you can always reach out to us at products@spatialvision.com. So I can actually better able to give you a price of exactly what you need. But yes. But I must say it's very cost effective, and I can and may use the word cheap.
All right. Thank you, Everett. Question for you again. Is it hand launched?
Thanks for that question. Yes, all of senseFly drones are hand launched.
All right, excellent news. So I hope that hand launch does work for you. The question is, can I use it? And this is from Kevel Daily. Can I use the drone for telling the construction material types such as brick, steel, and zinc? Ever? I appear to have lost Everett again. Hold on, let me just run over to him so he can answer the remaining questions. All right, so I'm back with Everett again. The question I was asked is, can I use the drone for telling the construction material types such as brick, steel, or zinc? And that's for buildings. Kevel Daily, that's the name.
Oh, thanks for this question, Kevin. The drone can be used for construction. However, you're asking for the types of brick, steel, and zinc. I'm not quite sure exactly what you mean by.
So can it, when you fly over the building?
Because it will collect information, because it's remember the photos actually collect what it see. Then you actually process that data to get the result that you want, right? So if it's just the photos that you want, yes, you will be able to see the photos in good quality picture capture, but it depends on what you want to process those for. Because if you are thinking about thermal for like zinc and thing, there is also a thermal camera which can be attached to the EBX to give you thermal features. I hope that answer your questions. Okay, I'm glad to know that it helped. Thank you.
All right, thanks for those questions, Kevil. Any more questions from the audience that's here? Well, all right. Do appreciate the time that our audience was able to make. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Thanks to Rashawn. And as I said, Mr. Marchetti sent his apologies in his video that he sent. And I guess one more question before we go. Will you be able to get a copy of the training? Right. So we have this is being live recorded on Facebook, so you can rewatch it on Facebook, and it will also be posted to our YouTube channel, so you can always watch it there. So that posting will be done by the end of the week. But if you want to watch it a bit before then, you can watch it back on our Facebook page, which is currently being streamed on as well. And feel free to share it with any other drone lovers that you may know as well. And yes, with that said, so I appreciate the time. Hope you enjoy your upcoming Easter weekend for those that are celebrating Easter weekend. And we'll see you next month, April 28th, for our next webinar. So details will be sent out via email on that as well. So thanks again, all, and enjoy the rest of your day.